The 7 Rules of Money I Learned from 100 Books. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel MT. For the past year, I've gone down a rabbit hole. I decided to read everything I could get my hands on about money, wealth, and getting rich. I read the old books, the new books, the famous ones, and the ones you've never heard of. I'm talking about books like The Richest Man in Babylon, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Psychology of Money, The Millionaire Next Door. I will teach you to be rich, and dozens more. After a while, a funny thing started to happen. I realized that even though these books were written by different people in different decades, they were all basically saying the same few things, just in their own unique way. It was like they all had a piece of the same puzzle, and after reading about 100 of them, I felt like I could finally see the whole picture. The problem is, most people don't have the time to read 100 books on finance. It's confusing. One book says buy real estate, another says buy stocks, another says start a business. It's enough to make you give up and just go watch cat videos. So, I decided to do the hard work for you. I've boiled down all the noise, all the complex ideas, and all the confusing advice into 7 simple rules. These are the 7 fundamental rules of money that appeared over and over again in every single smart book I read. If you can understand and follow these 7 rules, you will be on the right path to building wealth. It's that simple. But before we dive into rule number 1, I have a quick question for you, and I want you to be honest. What is the very first money lesson you ever remember learning? It could be from your parents, a teacher, or just something you figured out on your own. Maybe it was that money doesn't grow on trees, or maybe it was learning to save up your allowance for a toy you really wanted. Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to see what everyone says. All right, let's get into it. The very first rule, the one that is the foundation for everything else, is so simple it almost sounds stupid. But I promise you, it's the most important. Rule number 1 is pay yourself first. Now, what does that even mean? Most people, when they get their paycheck, do the exact same thing. First, they pay their rent or mortgage, then they pay their car payment. Then they pay for their food, their phone bill, their internet, their Netflix subscription. Then, if there's anything left over at the end of the month, maybe, just maybe, they'll save a little bit. That's called paying yourself last. The Wealthy and every single book on wealth says to do the exact opposite. The moment you get paid, before you pay a single bill, before you buy a single coffee, you take a portion of that money, say 10 or 20%, and you move it into a separate account, a savings account, or even better, an investment account. This is not your emergency fund. This is not your vacation fund. This is your future you fund. It's a payment you are making to the person you will be in 10, 20, or 30 years. You are paying yourself first. The reason this is so powerful is because it changes saving from something that you might do if you have leftovers to something that you must do. It becomes a bill, just like your rent. It's a bill you owe to your future. The ancient book, The Richest Man in Babylon, which is almost 100 years old, tells this through simple stories. It says, a part of all you earn is yours to keep. It shouldn't be less than a tenth, no matter how little you earn. It was true 100 years ago, and it's true today. The easiest way to do this is to make it automatic. Go into your online banking right now and set up an automatic transfer. The day after you get paid, have a certain amount of money automatically moved from your main account to your investment account. This way, you never even see the money. You don't have to use willpower. You don't have to remember. The system does it for you. Your wealth starts building on autopilot. It might feel weird at first. You might think, I can't afford to do that. I have bills to pay. But what you'll find is that you adjust. You'll learn to live on what's left over. Your mind will find a way. You pay all your other bills, so why is the bill for your own future freedom the one you're willing to skip? Pay yourself first. It's the first and most important step on the path to wealth. This leads us directly to rule number 2, which is a massive mindset shift. Rule number 2 is understand the real game, assets versus liabilities. This was made famous by the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but the concept is timeless. If you don't understand this rule, you can work hard your entire life and have absolutely nothing to show for it. It's that critical. So let's break it down into the simplest terms possible. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. That's it. It's that simple. Let's look at some examples. Most people think their car is an asset. But is it? You have to pay for the car itself, for gas, for insurance, for repairs, for new tires. Money is constantly flowing out of your pocket because of that car. So, a car is a liability. Now let's think about a house. This is a tricky one. Most people say their house is their biggest asset. But the house you live in takes money out of your pocket every single month. You have the mortgage payment, property taxes, insurance, repairs, the water heater that breaks, the roof that leaks. It's a money pit. So the house you live in is actually a liability. So what's an asset then? An asset could be a stock that pays you a dividend. That dividend is money flowing into your pocket. An asset could be a rental property that you own. After you pay the mortgage and all the expenses, the rent check your tenant gives you puts money into your pocket. An asset could be a business you own that makes a profit. The wealthy understand this game. They spend their lives using their money to buy assets. Poor and middle-class people spend their lives buying liabilities that they think are assets. Think about it this way. A middle-class person gets a raise at work. They get excited and go buy a brand new, more expensive car. Their car payment goes up, their insurance goes up. They just bought a bigger liability. A wealthy person gets a raise. They take that extra money and buy more stocks or another rental property. They just bought another asset that will start generating even more money for them. You see the difference? One person is digging themselves into a deeper hole. The other person is building a ladder to climb out of the hole. The goal is to get to a point where the money coming in from your assets is more than your monthly expenses. When you reach that point, you are financially free. You no longer have to work for money because your assets are doing the work for you. From now on, before you buy anything significant, ask yourself this one simple question. Is this an asset or a liability? Is this going to put money in my pocket or take money out of it? Your answers will change your life. Now, buying assets and paying yourself first is great, but none of it matters if you can't control the one thing that will destroy all your plans. This brings us to rule number 3. Your mind is your biggest asset or your biggest liability. This is the central theme of one of the best money books ever written, The Psychology of Money. The author, Morgan Housel, argues that being good with money has very little to do with how smart you are. It has everything to do with how you behave. You can be a genius with a PhD in finance, but if you panic when the stock market goes down, you'll go broke. You can be a regular person who knows nothing about fancy investing, but if you are patient and consistent, you'll become wealthy. Our brains are not naturally wired to be good at investing. We are driven by 2 powerful emotions, fear and greed. When the news is good and everyone is making money in stocks, greed kicks in. People see their friends getting rich and they jump in, usually buying at the very top when prices are highest. Then, when the economy gets shaky and the stock market starts to fall, fear takes over. People panic. They see their investment account balance going down, and they sell everything, locking in their losses, usually right at the bottom. They buy high and sell low. It is the perfect recipe for going broke. The wealthy do the opposite. They have a long-term perspective. They understand that the stock market is like a roller coaster. It has big ups and big downs, but over a long period of time, the trend is always up. When everyone else is panicking and selling, they see it as a sale. They see it as an opportunity to buy great assets at a discount. As the famous investor Warren Buffett said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." This is all about controlling your emotions. It's about being patient. Building wealth is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slow process. It takes years, even decades. But the power of time and consistency is like a force of nature. Another part of the money mindset is avoiding the trap of comparison. In the age of social media, this is harder than ever. You scroll through Instagram and see people with fancy cars, on exotic vacations, wearing designer clothes. It's easy to feel like you're falling behind, but you have to remember you are seeing their highlight reel, not their bank account. That person with the new BMW might be drowning in debt to pay for it. That person on a luxury vacation might have charged it all to a credit card. Wealth is what you don't see. It's the money that's quietly sitting in an investment account, growing. It's the stocks and rental properties that aren't flashy, but are working day and night to make you richer. Rich is what you spend. Wealth is what you keep. Don't try to look rich. Focus on actually becoming wealthy. That means controlling your own behavior, being patient, and not caring what anyone else is doing. Your mind can either be the engine that drives you to wealth or the anchor that holds you in poverty. The choice is yours. This idea of not trying to look rich is so important that it deserves its own rule. This is rule number 4. Live like a secret millionaire. There's a famous old book called The Millionaire Next Door. The author spent years studying actual millionaires in America, and what they found shocked everyone. The vast majority of real millionaires don't live in Beverly Hills. They don't drive Ferraris. They don't wear Rolex watches. The typical millionaire lives in a normal house, in a normal neighborhood, and drives a reliable, paid-off car like a Toyota or a Honda. They are often small business owners or regular professionals like teachers or engineers. They became millionaires not because they had a super high income, but because they were masters at one thing, living below their means. They understood a concept called lifestyle inflation, and they actively fought against it. Lifestyle inflation is the natural tendency to increase your spending every time your income goes up. You get a $5,000 a year raise, so you decide you can afford a $100 more per month car payment. You get a promotion, so you move into a bigger, more expensive apartment. As your income goes up, your spending goes up right along with it. This is why you see people earning 6 figures who are still living paycheck to paycheck and are drowning in debt. They are on a hamster wheel. They run faster and faster, but they never actually get anywhere. The secret millionaires do the opposite. When they get a raise, they pretend it never happened. They keep their lifestyle the same, and they take the entire raise and put it towards paying themselves first, towards buying more assets. They see the gap between what they earn and what they spend as their ticket to freedom. Their goal is to make that gap as wide as humanly possible. This doesn't mean you have to live like a monk and never have any fun. It's about being intentional with your money. It's about spending extravagantly on the things you truly love and cutting back mercilessly on the things you don't. Maybe you absolutely love to travel. Great. Spend your money on that. But maybe you don't really care about having the latest iPhone or a brand new car. So don't spend money there. Buy a used car and drive it until it dies. Keep your phone for 4 or 5 years. The point is to stop spending money automatically just to keep up with your neighbors or friends. Many people spend money they don't have to buy things they don't need, to impress people they don't even like. It's a game you can't win. The only way to win is to stop playing. Live a life that looks modest on the outside, but is incredibly rich on the inside, where it matters, in your bank account and your investment portfolio. The peace of mind that comes from having a high savings rate and a growing net worth is 100 times better than the temporary thrill of buying a new gadget. Live like a secret millionaire, and one day you might just become one. So we've talked about paying yourself first, buying assets, controlling your mind, and living below your means. Now we get to the fun part, the part where your money actually starts to do the heavy lifting for you. Rule number 5 is make your money work harder than you do. This is the magic of investing and compound interest. Albert Einstein supposedly called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. It's a concept that is so powerful, it's almost hard to believe. So let's explain it with a simple story. Imagine I offer you 2 choices. Option 1, I will give you $1 million right now in cash. Option 2, I will give you a single magic penny. This penny will double in value every single day for 31 days. Which one would you choose? Most people would snatch the $1 million. A penny seems worthless. Let's see what happens. On day 1, you have 1 cent. Day 2, 2 cents. Day 5, you only have 16 cents. After 10 days, you're at $5.12. You're probably feeling pretty dumb for not taking the million. After 20 days, you have over $5,000. Still not a million, but it's getting interesting. But this is where the magic happens. On day 28, you have over $1.3 million. On day 29, $2.7 million. On day 30, $5.3 million. And on the final day, day 31, that single penny has grown to over $10 million. That is the power of compounding. It starts slow, so slow you can barely notice it. But over time, it begins to snowball, and eventually, it becomes an unstoppable avalanche of growth. This is what happens when you invest your money. Your money earns a return. Then, that return gets added to your original money, and the new, larger amount earns a return. Your money starts making money, and then the money your money made starts making its own money. Your money is having little money babies, and then those babies grow up and have their own babies. This is how you get rich while you sleep. So, where do you put your money to make this happen? This is where most people get scared and confused. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, crypto, it's overwhelming. But almost every book I read, especially the modern ones like The Simple Path to Wealth, came to the same conclusion. For the vast majority of people, the best thing to do is to keep it simple. Don't try to be a genius. Don't try to pick the one stock that's going to be the next big thing. That's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Instead, just buy the whole haystack. You can do this by investing in something called a low-cost, broad market index fund. That sounds complicated, but it's not. An index fund is just a big basket that holds a tiny piece of hundreds or even thousands of the biggest companies in the country or the world. For example, an S&P 500 index fund holds a tiny piece of the 500 biggest companies in America. When you buy a share of that fund, you instantly own a tiny slice of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and all the other major players. You are betting on the success of the entire American economy. Over the long run, that has always been a very good bet. The best part is, it's cheap and it's passive. You just buy it and you hold it. You let the power of the market and the magic of compounding do the work for you. You don't have to watch the news every day. You don't have to stress about which company is doing well. You just own them all. This is the simplest, most effective way for the average person to build serious wealth. Your job isn't to be a brilliant stock picker. Your job is to save as much money as you can, put it into these simple index funds consistently, and then have the patience to let it grow for decades. Let your money do the hard work. All of these rules are great, but they require discipline and willpower, which are things humans don't have in large supply. This is why rule number 6 is so critical. Rule number 6 is create systems, not goals. Think about the common money goals people have. I want to be a millionaire. I want to retire early. These are fine as dreams, but they are terrible as plans. They don't tell you what you need to do today, right now. A goal is a point in the future. A system is what you do every single day to get there. The books I read, especially ones like I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, hammered this point home. Winners and losers often have the same goals. What separates them is their systems. The best system for your money is one that is almost completely automated. We already talked about this a little bit with paying yourself first, but let's build out the whole system. Here's what it looks like. First, your paycheck gets deposited into your main checking account. Then, the very next day, a series of automatic transfers happen without you lifting a finger. An automatic transfer sends 10 to 20% of your paycheck straight to your investment account to buy those index funds we talked about. Another automatic transfer sends 5 to 10% to a high-yield savings account for your short-term goals, like a down payment on a house or a new car. Another automatic transfer sends money to pay your rent, your car payment, and all your other fixed bills. What is left in your checking account after all of these automatic transfers and payments have happened is your guilt-free spending money for the month. You can spend that money on whatever you want. You can go out to eat, buy clothes, go to the movies, whatever. You don't have to feel guilty about it because you know all the important stuff has already been taken care of. Your saving is done, your investing is done, your bills are paid. The system works for you. This approach is powerful for 2 reasons. First, it removes willpower from the equation. You don't have to decide to save money each month. It just happens. You are making the right choice, the default choice. Second, it gives you incredible mental freedom. You no longer have to stress about every little purchase. You don't have to track every single penny in a complicated budget spreadsheet. Your system ensures you are on track for your long-term goals, which frees you up to enjoy your life today. It's about focusing on the big wins. Getting your savings rate right and automating it is a big win. Agonizing over whether to buy a $5 latte is a small, pointless battle. Stop trying to use willpower to achieve your goals. Willpower is a finite resource. Instead, Build a simple, automatic system that makes success inevitable. We've covered 6 powerful rules. If you follow them, you will build wealth. But there is one final rule that can act as a massive accelerator on your journey. It can take a process that might take 30 or 40 years and shrink it down to 10 or 15. Rule number 7 is increase your shovel size. Imagine you are trying to fill a big hole with sand, and that hole represents your financial freedom. Your savings rate is the shovel you are using to fill the hole. Living below your means and being frugal is like sharpening the edges of your shovel. It makes you more efficient. You can scoop more sand with each dig. But at the end of the day, you're still using the same size shovel. The fastest way to fill the hole is to get a bigger shovel. In this analogy, the size of your shovel is your income. There is a hard limit on how much you can save. You can only cut your expenses down to 0. You still need to eat and have a place to live. But there is no theoretical limit on how much you can earn. This is the final piece of the puzzle that many of the most successful people I read about had figured out. They focused not just on saving, but on dramatically increasing their income. How can a regular person do this? It's not as complicated as it sounds. The first and most obvious way is to get better at your current job. Become so good at what you do that your company can't afford to lose you. Track your accomplishments, then go to your boss with a clear case for why you deserve a significant raise. Many people are too scared to do this, and they leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table over their careers. The second way is to learn a high-value skill. The world is always changing, and new skills are always in demand. This could be anything from coding, to digital marketing, to sales, to video editing. You can learn many of these skills for free or for very cheap online. Once you have a valuable skill, you can use it to get a better-paying job, or you can start a side hustle. A side hustle is simply a way to make extra money outside of your main job. You could be a freelance writer, a dog walker, a house painter, a consultant, anything. The crucial part of this rule is what you do with the extra money. Remember lifestyle inflation from rule number 4? This is where it will tempt you the most. When you get a raise or start making money from a side hustle, the urge will be to go out and spend it. You must resist this urge. The purpose of increasing your shovel size is not to fund a fancier lifestyle today. The purpose is to take every single extra dollar and throw it directly into your investments. If you get a $500 a month raise, your automatic investment transfer should go up by $500 a month. This is how you pour gasoline on the fire of your wealth-building journey. This is how you supercharge your progress. Frugality is important, but it will only get you so far. Combine a high savings rate with a high and growing income, and you will become unstoppable. So there you have it. The 7 rules of money that I learned from reading over 100 books. Let's recap them one more time. 1. Pay yourself first. Make saving and investing your top priority and automate it. 2. Understand the real game. Assets versus liabilities. Use your money to buy things that put more money in your pocket. 3. Your mind is your biggest asset or liability. Control your emotions, be patient, and don't compare yourself to others. 4. Live like a secret millionaire. Avoid lifestyle inflation and focus on building real wealth, not showing off fake riches. 5. Make your money work harder than you do. Harness the magic of compound interest through simple, low-cost index funds. 6. Create systems, not goals. Build an automated money system that makes success the default. And 7. Increase your shovel size. Focus on growing your income and investing the difference. I know this is a lot of information, but if you look closely, you'll see that it's all based on a few simple principles. Spend less than you earn, invest the difference wisely, and be patient. That's really it. That's the secret. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it works. It has worked for millions of people, and it can work for you too. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need a fancy degree. You just need to follow these simple rules consistently over a long period of time. The journey to wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. But by following this map, you can be sure you're running in the right direction. If you found this video helpful and it simplified some of these ideas for you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and join us. We're going to be exploring more of these topics in a simple, straightforward way. Thanks for watching.